Today is Friday and I have one order going out. It's just amazing how much my sales have died off since earlier in the week. I will say that I did do a complete store reset, the nuclear reset, where I end and sell similar all my items last Friday. So 1 week ago I did that. I had pretty good sales at the beginning of the week and they slowly tapered off to what they are now. I don't know if I want to say I would consider one sale per day normal, but sometimes it's just like that. The one single item I have going out today is a genuine Kenmore 469911. What is this? A ice and water filter. This sold for $11.99 plus shipping, and it came from the bin store for either 50 cents or $1. I used to sell a lot of filters, a lot of water filters and refrigerator filters, but I just don't go to the bin store anymore, and that's where they all came from. So I like the fact that filters sell really good on eBay, especially the name brand filters, but even some of the off brands still sell pretty good. What I don't like, and I've said this a long time ago, it's been a while because I haven't sold a filter in a while, but eBay is definitely a race to the bottom on name brand filters. Right now on Amazon, this filter sells for either $71 or $72. And that's not some listing where one or two of them sold. There's 800 something reviews. And since the majority of people don't leave reviews, you know that they have probably sold tens of thousands. Looking at the solds on eBay, of course, mine sold for $11.99 plus shipping, which brings it up to, if I had, say, free shipping on it, about $16.50. Another one sold for $20 with free shipping. Oh, and I do want to mention, it was listed for a little bit more. It was listed for $14.99, but I have a 20% off sale right now. Another one sold for $8 plus shipping. Another $24.50 free shipping. A three pack of these filters sold for $37.95 plus shipping. Remember, $72 on Amazon, and someone on eBay is selling them for basically about $48 for three. Another sold for $12 plus shipping, another $15.50 plus shipping, another sold for $8 plus shipping. But my point is, when it comes to these things like refrigerator and ice filters, eBay is a total race to the bottom. But what are you going to do? If you price it up higher than everybody else, you might get lucky and sell it. But if the buyer sorts by price lowest first, all the lower price ones are going to come up. So while it does suck selling a $72 filter for $12, that's just kind of one of those things that if you sell on eBay, you just have to deal with. I did get a return request for one of the baseball bats I sold. Of course, it was the most expensive one that it sold for $110. And the buyer sent me this photo. And if you look through the top of it, you can see what looks to be a crack. Now, the buyer was really good to deal with. I don't think that they're pulling any kind of scam or anything here. And I did use my original photos plus the photo that he sent me, or the photos, to kind of match it up and make sure it was the same bat that I sent out. And any bat that's been used is going to have a few imperfections on it. So I matched up the imperfections, which I don't think they could quite duplicate those. And I'm pretty sure it's the same bat. So I'm guessing that maybe something got sat on it or something like that. I don't really know, but it does look to be a crack. The buyer said he wasn't sure if it was a scratch or a crack, but there was no big scratch on it or anything when I sold it. I wrapped it in bubble wrap and then put it in the box. So the chances of it being a scratch, I don't think is very good. I did send the bat with UPS, and I've never had to deal with UPS for a claim. But he opened up a return, I approved it, and sent him the label to return the bat. So when I get it back, I hope I don't have to fight too much with UPS to get reimbursed for it. Today's Monday, and I've only got 5 orders going out from the weekend. So not a very good weekend at all. I think the total sales number was just a little over $100, but I was really hoping to do better this weekend. We did go out to both garage sales and estate sales this weekend. So after I show you what sold, I'll show you the items that I brought in. I did have what was supposed to be a local pickup from eBay take place Sunday. Saturday, while I was out at a garage sale, I had someone message me and asking if I would do local pickup on several items. And I told them that was fine because they were coming from about an hour away. So while I was out Sunday, I brought the items with me, but they ended up not showing up and wanted to reschedule. I really wish the meetup would have worked out yesterday because I was already out and about right in the area they wanted to meet at. But they did tell me that since they had to put it off, they would come basically all the way to me. Not coming to my house, but somewhere really more local to me. So as of right now, I'm just waiting to hear back from them for the local pickup. I haven't done a whole lot of local pickups from eBay, but the few that I did have all went off pretty much without a hitch. I'm trying to do a little bit better with my uploading schedule. What I ideally would like to do is upload 2 what sold videos and 1 sourcing video per week. So what I'm shooting for is a Monday and Friday what sold video and a Wednesday sourcing video. I have tried in the past to have more of a schedule and it just didn't work out. So with that said, let me show you the items that are going out today. The first item going out is a Palm M500 series backup cord, still new in the package, and this sold for $9.59 plus shipping. And I bought this, I probably bought about a dozen different new in the package Palm accessories from an estate sale, and she charged me like $5 for all of them. And it was one of those things where I just bought them because they were cheap and I figured they would probably trickle out over time. And I was right. I think after selling this, I've only got 2 of the things left. There were some map cords, some backup cords. There was actually a Palm keyboard still new in the package. Maybe a couple other things that I don't remember. But even after me selling the first item out of that whole batch, it more than paid for all of them. So there's definitely some people out there that are looking for a new old stock of Palm accessories. The next item is a 2003 Kellogg's Dr. Seuss The Cat in the Hat Thing 1 Mini Plush. And that sold for $7.19. It came from a bundle deal at an estate sale that I paid almost nothing for. So not a big seller, but I really have almost nothing into it. The next 3 things are the items that I had for the local pickup. And it's a 5-pack of Scotch 111 reel-to-reel tapes. A 2-pack of Scotch 150 reel-to-reel tapes. And 1 reel-to-reel tape. I guess that's a audio tape brand. I don't know. Anyway, those all together sold for $48.77, and of course, no shipping. So, like I said earlier, still waiting on the buyer to contact me to meet up for those. I was hoping to coordinate our meetup when I was going out to the post office anyway, so I wouldn't have to make a dead trip. But either way, I'm not going to travel very far because the buyer did say that they would meet me close to my house. Next up is a Skip Doctor manual CD and DVD disc repair system. This sold for $12.79 plus shipping. And again, it came from an estate sale where I bundled up some items. I don't even remember everything that was in there other than that, a bunch of blank VHS tapes too that were still new and sealed. And there were a couple other things in there that I don't remember what they were, but that more than pays for the entire lot of items. And the last item going out is a Grolier Books Story of America history cards. This sold for $31.96 plus shipping. And it came from $10 fill-a-bag at an estate sale. Again, I don't remember what else was in there, but this way more than pays for everything else that I bought. I was talking earlier about trying to have more of a rigid set schedule for my uploads. Now, I have a ton of footage, which I talked about, I think in the last video, of sourcing. Lots of garage sales, estate sales, and things like that. But there are some times that I cannot film at either a garage sale or estate sale or even a thrift store. Well, I could film, but a lot of times they have music playing. I would say at least half or more of the estate sales have music playing. And if I go into any Goodwill store around here, they have music playing, copyrighted music. So a lot of times I choose to just not video because then I have to mute everything or I have to do voiceover. And one thing I really hate is doing voiceover. So a lot of times I choose just not to film. But I think I may have an answer to that. While I was out Saturday, I picked up some external mics. I got the DJI Mic Minis. And from what I can tell, those should help filter out enough of the background music so that it's not going to make filming be a problem. I did have one upload I put up last year, and there was just very, very little music. And as soon as I uploaded it, I didn't get a copyright strike, but any money that video made would have went to somebody else. Now, the joke was on them, because even though my channel is technically monetized, I've never made any money from it. But I do want to avoid having that issue in the future. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos on these DJI mics. And from what I can tell, they do a pretty good job of cutting out not only music in the background, but other noises and things like that. So I need to get these out, get them charged, and hopefully be able to do more videoing in places that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to. Okay, here are most of the items. I have a few more things that wouldn't fit up here, like some plush, that I'll show you in a minute. So from one estate sale, I bought these items. This is a garlic roaster, like a terracotta garlic roaster, and I just bought that for myself. I didn't even comp it, but I'd been wanting to get one of these. And again, for myself, I bought one of these old Ronco flavor injector things. It's new in the package, and you can put like chopped up garlic and onions and stuff like that in here, and you can actually stuff it into a roast. And I had one of these years ago and it broke, so I got that for myself. Now, the things I picked up for resale, there's this Bass Explosion version 4, which is still new in the sealed. I saw one comp for this. It was a set of 2 for like $10, but usually whenever there's stuff that is sealed, I try to pick it up if it has any value. This was an interesting one. It's Big it's Big Earl's Romantic Love Songs. Now, I found one active on eBay for like $50 of a different CD, well, Big Earl's, but with a different name. Now, I'll show you the let's see the names on here. Try to get it out the glare. If you really want to see the names, you can pause it, but I'm not going to read them out loud. So I don't know if this is going to be any good or not, because like I said, I didn't see any sold. I just saw one active for $50. I didn't even find a whole lot on the internet about this. I am going to listen to it, and I got a pretty good idea of what's going to be on here, but we'll see how that does. And then I got a few books that are probably going to be in like the $15 range. This Birmingham Hoover sketchbook, Commercial Real Estate Investing. Not this book. I picked it up for myself because I want to be like Harry Tornado and sell soap. Not really. I just bought it because I thought it was interesting, and sometimes I do tend to just want to know more about stuff. And no, I'm not really planning on making soap. I just thought this was pretty interesting. And finally, this Vitamix book, which this is one of those books that there were some solds. I saw one as high as 20. The rest of them were all like in the $6 range, because they were being sold by some of those cheap eBay booksellers that sell books for $4, $5, $6 free shipping. So I went ahead and got it, and I'm going to list it. I don't know how much I'm going to list it for. At another estate sale, I picked up this little Pig vacuum. I only saw one sold for like $8. There were some listed around $14, $15, maybe up to $20. I don't even know if it works, but it was $3 and it was 40% off of that. So I only paid $1.50 for it, and if nothing else, I'll keep it. I just thought it was pretty funny. It has a little opening here in the snout, and you turn it on and it sucks the stuff up into a canister here. So one of those things that may not make me any money, but I just liked it. From another garage sale we went to, I picked up this Easton Elite bag, and there were a couple low comps, like $6 or $7, but most of them were up around, say, 15 to 20, with I think at least one of them over $20. And it is in great shape. There's no rips, tears, staining, or anything like that. And it was $4. I also picked up this iBobber castable Bluetooth fish finder. Now, I hope this works. The comps on it were anywhere from $30 to $50 pre-owned. So I'm gonna have to check it out and make sure it works, but it was $10. So I figured I would take a chance on that. And I also picked up Miss K's Duck Commander Kitchen Cookbook. That was only $1, and it's for myself. Those are not very valuable for resale. From another garage sale, this was kind of like a thing I picked up on the way out. It's a digital sound level meter, and I didn't comp it or anything. It was just $1, so I grabbed it. After looking at it, they're only worth like $5 or $6. But I picked up 3 books. And this first book and second book are available on Amazon. This one is only available used for like 20 something dollars, and this one is also available for 20 something dollars. I didn't see any solds on eBay, but I'd only looked at the recent solds. I didn't go to product research. For this book, there were some solds on eBay for 20 something dollars, and she only charged me $1 each for all of the books. At another estate sale, I didn't pick up much. Now first I got this little cast iron skillet, and it is nothing special. It's just a 6.5-inch skillet made in Taiwan. Kim originally showed me this and I'm like, I don't want that. But when I went and looked at it, I realized someone had sanded down the inside of it. I do use cast iron to cook, and I'd been thinking about making one of the smooth inside cast iron skillets. And it looks like someone started this process and didn't finish it, because it is kind of smooth. It's not rough like the bottom or the sides of it, but they didn't finish it. So I figured at $2.50, because it was 50% off at this estate sale, that I would just give it a try. I figured this would be a good test skillet to get sanded down and try to perfect my cast iron smoothing process. And then there were these two cookbooks. Now this one is not all that great. I think that I have an unlisted Tony Chachere's cookbook, the regular one, not the microwave one. So I might just lock this one up with that. And they had this high rolling recipes from the Argosy Casino in Baton Rouge. Now this one, I couldn't find any reference to it on the internet or eBay or anywhere else. From another garage sale, all I found were 17 of these Cricut cartridges, and she wanted $1 a piece for these. I comped a couple of them while I was there, and they were like maybe $8-9 or something like that, but I didn't look at all of them, so I don't know if some of them will be better than others or not. But like I always say, for $1, I'll take a chance. I found these items at an estate sale. Now this is just for me. I use these a lot when I cook, and as far as I can tell, you can't buy these new anymore. The last ones I got, I actually bought from eBay because I couldn't find them anywhere else. So that was for me. And this estate sale was 50% off, so those were $1.50. They had this Sunbeam massager. It was marked 10, so I only had to pay $5. And I quickly opened the box at the estate sale. And is that the end open? Yeah. And I think it's brand new in the package, because it doesn't look like the inner box is even open. I do need to check and see, but it's still in the paper and everything. Even pre-owned, I saw these going upwards of $30 to $35. I found this skillet, which is a Cuisine Cookware Series Gallery Cuisine, a Robert Welch design. It's stainless steel with copper stainless 3-ply base. The only one I found on eBay was in product research. Now it did have a lid with it, and it went for I think $48. So this one definitely needs to be cleaned up, no doubt about it. And I was trying to decide whether I wanted to keep this for myself or sell it. It does have a $1 sticker on it. That came from something else, because it definitely wasn't $1. It actually wasn't marked at all, and I asked her about it, and she said it would be $7.50, and then half of that since everything was 50% off. I picked up a few packages of pantyhose. These were marked $2, so they ended up only being $1 each, and comps on them looked to be about maybe $8 or so. They also had some of these Verbatim 2 HD 3.5-inch micro discs. These generally look like they go for about $10 for a 10-pack of them, and I've got 3 10-packs here. So this was $2.50 after the 50% off discount, and these were $5. So at worst, I'll probably turn $2.50 into $10. I also found one of these Ron Popeil's knives with the folding cutting board, and this one looks to be in really good shape, like almost never used. I found this one other time, and I think it sold for about $30. Now it was marked 20. You see they've got rare Popeils on here, so I'm sure that played into their decision to price it at 20. So ultimately I only paid 10 for it, and I'll probably list it for about $30. At a garage sale, I picked up another one of these Easton bags, and I didn't comp it or anything. It's not exactly the same as the other one, but they wanted $4 for it. At that same garage sale, I found an LSU baseball rug, which is probably about maybe 32 inches in diameter. They wanted $2 for it, and again, it looks like it's in pretty good shape, so I got that. And they also had this Joe's Crab Shack shark head mug. They wanted $1 for, so I grabbed that also. And from the last garage sale, I picked up 4 plush. One is this Wild Republic parrot. There's this guy here, and I don't really know who he is. I did look him up because he didn't look familiar, and I think he's something to do with Ryan's World. There's this Wild Republic backpack, and this big one here, which is, I guess, Lion King or something. And I don't know exactly what this is, but it does have a zipper compartment to like put stuff in, but I need to check into that a little more. And all the plush were only $1 a piece. And I guess that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.